2, 1.
Sky Ski, the next generation in high-performance hydrofoils, designed by legendary hydrofoil engineer and innovator Mike Murphy. Made of 6061 T6 aircraft aluminum. Billet aluminum seat tower. Reinforced fuselage. High gloss finish. Factory winged foil. Handmade in the USA. Contoured aluminum ski top. Extra thick tailbone notch seat pad. Molded foot pads.
Hello, welcome to the sunny Bahamas. My name is Mike Murphy. I am the president, founder of SkySki. I'm the inventor, and if you're watching this video, you've obviously just purchased one, and I want to thank you very much for doing so, okay? I've been working on sit-down hydrofoil for the last 9 years, and what used to work 9 years ago doesn't work today. For example, we are going a lot higher, a lot faster than what we used to go, and we had to put a strengthening gusset on the bottom of the ski. We've had to streamline them. We've had to make them a lot more streamlined so you can go the higher speeds. We've made a bigger front blade. We put winglets on it. We've done a reverse cut on the back foil. They come completely polished, tuned right out of the box. Getting these huge jumps, you've seen in the videos, the small seat pad wasn't adequate. We needed to go to a bigger seat pad. We needed to go to a thicker seat pad. We needed to go to a release here for your spine. You can see this little cutout right there for the spine. Now, we've had to make the foil a bit tighter in the ski where it didn't shake back and forth. So I've double through bolted it. Got a billet aluminum seat tower. Put an aluminum deck on it. So this is really a very, very, very high performance hydrofoil, and it also works at lower speeds. In this video, we're going to go over for you first timers simply how to get up on it, how to steer it, and how to fly it. We're going to go over some safety instructions, equipment. I would like to start off with safety. If you are going to be a SkySki pilot, which you are going to be, you're going to want to invest in a good vest. A Coast Guard approved flotation device, a ski vest. Get one that's tight, that's not floating up around your ears. Just invest in a nice vest. A lot of people don't like to wear the seat belt. They think that they're going to fall like a lot of them done on a knee board and float upside down or be trapped in this thing. This is counterweighted. As soon as you fall in the water, 14 pounds of aluminum will drop underneath you. Just like the bobber on a fishing line or just like the keel on a sailboat. You will be upright. You need the seat belt. The second thing is you always want to wear the heel straps. A combination between the heel straps, the seat belt, you cannot get hit by the sky ski. Okay. That's basically it for safety, that, and common sense. For example, don't ride it in shallow water. Don't run over any logs. Don't try to ski up right up to a dock. Just use common sense, and you're going to love it. I tell people to pull it slow. Slow to them is 20 miles an hour. That's twice as fast as you need to go. Only go 10 miles an hour to learn how to steer it, 12 miles an hour to learn how to fly it. Now, when you're going to start, a deep water start, you throw the sky ski in the water, loosen the strap, stick your feet through here, grab the bindings with 2 fingers on your right hand. As you pull away, stick your foot in over from the top. Use your other foot to actually push the sky ski away. Pull, stick your foot in from the top, then reverse the situation. It's very, 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 very important that when you sit on this, your butt is even with the back of the seat and the strap is tight. Now, I ran into a guy once who set a record. He was trying to get up on a sit-down hydrofoil for about 3 years. He couldn't do it. He was only making one mistake, and that was his butt was hanging off the back of the seat just an inch or two. That would be equivalent to having 6 people sitting on the back of a 16-foot outboard and wondering why it's not going to plane. Hey, it's not going to plane. Your butt has got to be even with the back of the seat. Now, when you hit the water, when you fall, do a butt check. Feel down here, make sure your butt is even with the back of the seat. If your butt is even with the back of the seats, if you're going slower than slow, if you get up, as soon as you get on top of the water, raise your hands, lean forward, pitch the blade down, learn how to steer it. It's a done deal. I would say the biggest problem that we have teaching people how to sky ski is our customers are generally water skiers. So they try to operate this like a water ski. They try to pull those folds as fast as the water ski. It doesn't work. The sensation on the sky ski isn't that of water skiing. It's that of flying. You are flying. It doesn't matter if you're flying 3 feet above the water or 30 feet above the water. You are flying. That sensation of weightlessness is what you're going to get. And most people can't appreciate the weightlessness because they've never been there. Water ski rules do not apply with the sky ski. This doesn't resemble a water ski in any way, shape, or form. I mean, look at the bottom of it. You've got a front wing, you've got a back wing. That is basically an airplane, folks. And airplane rules apply. Flying rules apply, not water ski rules. So, if you were to take an airplane off and you were going down a runway with the wing exposed, you'd get to a certain speed, it would stall and it would crash because you have to keep the wing down until you get adequate flying speed until you can take off. So when you're learning how to ride the sky ski, you're going to want to remember that. You're going to want that wing pitched down. Pitch it down, get going. A lot of people are under the wrong impression that they're going to get up and just go out and fly on it right off the bat. That's generally not the case. Okay, you have got 2 major things how to learn how to do. A is how to steer it. B is how to fly it. How you steer it is you have to think of this as a big strut or a big rudder. As you aim your knees from left, this goes left. You turn them right, it goes right. So think of this as a rudder, you aim your knees. Now on a water ski, what you would do is you would lean to turn it. This is not water ski. If you lean to turn it, you are going to crash. Another thing is, if this takes about 1/3 the strength or the horsepower to get up, or the speed, okay, I tell people to pull it slow, and I can appreciate this. Slow to a water skier is 20 miles an hour. Slow to a sky skier is 10 miles an hour. You don't want to go over 10 miles an hour till you know how to steer it. Okay, you're not just going to go out there and go up and fly it. I'm not going to say it's not impossible. I've had a lot of 15, 16-year-old people, young athletic people, pop right up and fly it. but generally, you're going to have to learn how to steer it first. And that's much like a bicycle. You're going to feel pretty wobbly at first, and then that's going to just tighten up, and before you know it, you're going to be going straight. Be patient, be slow. After you can ride this on the water, leaning forward with your hands up, then you're slowly going to start sitting up, okay? And I'm going to grab this chair here, and I'm going to try to give you a few helpful pointers. After you throw the sky ski in the water, it's floating, you get on it. You're going to grab the handle, you got a deep V rope. You're going to stick the ski up in this rope, you're going to lean forward in the water, you're going to have your hands down, okay? As the boat takes off, it's going to want to pull you forward. So what you need to do is just lean back a little bit. I don't want you to sit up, I just don't want the boat to pull you forward. As soon as you come on top of the water, raise your hands and lean forward. This position right here, my hands are up, my shoulders are forward. Then, what's going to happen is we're going about 10 miles an hour, I'm going to steer it. See how my knees are moving? This is how you steer it from left to right, left to right, left to right. Okay, my hands are up, I'm leaning forward. Now, as I get this down in the steering, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit up a little bit, lower the handle. As I'm doing that, that foil is coming up, I lose my balance, I go back to where I know. And then pretty soon, when you're sitting up totally straight, like this, with your hands 90 degrees, that blade is going to be zeroed out. Now, if I sit back just a little bit, I'm going to start going up. I immediately have to rock back forward and level it out. Here's where people make mistakes. As they lean forward, their hands go down. When they lean back, their hands go up. You can't do that. You've got to be able to lean forward to go down, back to go up, without letting your hands go up and down. They've got to stay stationary. Now, as you're doing this, you're going to run into problems. And the sky ski isn't a hard thing to learn how to do. I would say 90% of it is understanding the concept, understanding what's happening here. Okay, if you take off and the tip keeps going underneath the water, you're not resisting the boat as it pulls you up by simply leaning back a little bit, or you're pushing on your feet and you're bearing the nose. If you push on your feet, which people have a tendency to do for two reasons. A, is they've always stood up whenever they've done anything. Well, this you don't stand up on. You've got to keep all your weight on your butt. Two, is when a person feels a little bit scared, they push on their feet. Now, in pushing on your feet, this will create two problems. One is it'll bury the nose. Two is it'll make you slide back on the seat. Now, I can appreciate that this portion of the video isn't going to last you too long, because you should be out the first weekend and you should be flying it. By the second weekend, you're going to be zooming back and forth, and you're going to want to learn how to jump it. So I'm also going to put in this video a little classroom on jumping, how to jump. Much like putting your hand out the window of a car and letting the air blowing up and down. When you expose the blade to the water, it pushes you up, pushes you down. Okay, now, what you're going to find is how high you go, okay? It's not like a water ski or wakeboard. It doesn't take a physical thing to make you go higher. There's two things that determine how high you go on a sky ski. A is how much pitch, or your angle of attack. Okay, if you're just pitched up a little bit, you're just going to go a little bit. If you're pitched up more, you're going to go higher, higher, higher. So my suggestion to you would be is to learn to jump as high as you can learn how to jump at, say, 15, 18 miles an hour by getting maximum pitch on the foil. Maximum pitch. Now, when you feel that you've got that wired and you can't go any higher, well, the second thing that's going to make you go higher is your thumb, like that to the boat. You go faster. Now, the faster you go, and you've already got that pitch, the higher it's going to push you, the higher it's going to push you. And I guarantee you, it'll push you high. Simply have my hands down, rock back, pull my feet up. Like this, I've exposed the blade. See the angle of my feet? Okay, if my feet are down like this, I haven't done much. If my feet are up like this, I've done a lot. So if I was to throw my shoulders back with my feet down, I haven't done a lot. Pretend like you're on a rocking chair and you got your feet on the rockers and you're going back and forth like this. Okay? So when you lean back, your feet come up, exposes that foil to the water pressure, it pushes you in the air. Now, very important. You've figured out already, if you're at the jumping stage, that when you raise your hands, you go down. When you lower your hands, you go up. So if you're in the air and you raise your hands, what's going to happen? You're going to go out the front. I would have to say the hardest falls that I have ever taken on the sky ski are not doing front flips or back flips or trying Mobiuses or doing helicopters or this, that. It's learning how to jump. The hardest falls 90% of the people will ever take is learning how to jump, because what happens is they haven't got everything dialed in yet, and they'll rock back, they'll jump, okay? And then they'll pull the rope over their head. And as they pull the rope over your head, you've got all this leverage pulling you down, and then they know they screwed up, and they go, oh no, and they push away from trouble. A natural reaction is always to push away from trouble. Well, when you push away from trouble, you push the blade down, you got your arms way up in the air, you catch the tip like this, and you go out the front. You've got to remember, never push on your feet, never raise your hands. Now, if you can do that and land in this position, as the foil hits, the ski comes down, just let your hands come forward and out, okay? Troubleshooting. If you're landing with the slack rope, generally the reason is when you're in the air, you pull. When you're in the air and you pull on the rope, there is absolutely nothing to pull against, and all you're doing is you're pulling yourself up the rope and creating slack. So if you're getting slack, you're pulling on the rope. If you're catching the tip, you're pushing on your feet or pushing on your feet and raising your hands. If you take off and you're absolutely cattywampus, it's because you're still cutting when you hit the wake. You do not need a wake to jump the sky ski. All you got to do is expose the foil, it pushes you in the air. Okay? I tell people to go out, do a nice, easy, slow cut at the wake, coming very, very slow. Right before you get to the wake, simply pull your knees up and lean back. And not really lean back much, more or less just pull your knees up, keep your hands down. It will push you in the air, okay? Another thing that you're going to find is if you have your hydrofoil and it's already breaking water here, and you've got all this exposed, you've only got from here to jump. So if you have the foil all the way down to here, the ski almost on the water, you've got all this distance to push you up. Another thing, think about it. If you're at this angle, you are not, a lot of people try to jump the ski at the wake. Well, if I was to jump the ski at the wake and the wake was here, look where the foil is, out in front of the wake. You want to do your jump a little bit premature, start about 2 feet before the wake, so this foil comes out at the wake. It will give you more lift. So you come in at the wake very, very slowly. You want to make sure there's no angle on that blade. It's totally flat. You're at the wake. The ski is really close to the water, and simply, that's a jump. That's all there is to it. Now, hitting a little bit of safety, a little bit of safety here. If you're going to be jumping, definitely, without a doubt, for sure, buy yourself a non-stretch rope. Okay? The biggest injury I've ever seen on hydrofoils is to the people in the boat, not to the rider himself. What happens is you get a good stretchy rope, you get a big old huge guy on there, even a guy my size, and you hold on tight, you pop the handle, it sails up and hits the people in the boat. So definitely invest in a non-stretch rope. How you can tell a rope is non-stretch is you push it together. If you take your hands off and it stays there, it's non-stretch. If you push it together and it has memory and it pops back, it's a stretchy rope. Just when you buy it, push it together, make sure it stays together. Another thing, very, very, very important, is don't use a deep V rope, the wide bridle rope. Don't. You can stick your arm through the handle. It's very, very big injury. Enjoy your sky ski. Be safe. Again, thank you very much for purchasing it, and have a good time.